What's my one? I have just lost 48 hours of my life to Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon, which is a big new open world RPG. So think people are calling it indie Skyrim. I would say this is on par with hardcore Skyrim. This is, you know, Skyrim, Oblivion, that kind of gameplay, but in a hardcore dark fantasy setting. And I've done nothing but no life this game for the last 4 days, and I've got no regrets. I just rolled the final mission. I just finished the game, and I want to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about here. So the game's been in early access for quite a while, and it's just having its big 1.0 release this month on the 23rd. So around the time of this video, it'll have its full finished game. You know, all the story will be finished. You know, all the side quests, everything. You can play through everything in a finished version. And I've just played through that version for the last few days. Thank you to the devs for sending me a copy. So let's get into this review. And I will just say this is an indie game, so it does have its indie quirks. It has its, you know, clunking places. And I'm going to be honest where they are. I'm going to give you the full real picture here of the real good stuff here, and then the stuff to be aware of, like the good and the bad. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up, the story and the gameplay. And I want to keep this spoiler free, so I'm only going to talk about, you know, the overall story, not like where it goes or the ending or anything. So this is completely safe from spoilers. The world is set in kind of the King Arthur land. So, you know, King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table rule over the world of Avalon. And then many years later, after King Arthur's reign is over, there's like a darkness that's crawling over the world, and there are problems. And that's why we're on now the Fall of Avalon. That's kind of the setting we're playing through. And we play as a character in this world, and it's a typical power fantasy. You know, think like the Dragonborn, you know, you are the hero. Whereas in this, you can be the traditional hero and save everyone and make everyone's lives better. Or you can just cause chaos. You can be selfish. You can be dark. You can just do things for the sake of wanting to see what happens. So yeah, this is dark fantasy at its core. The game it reminds me of the most is, as a long-time Dragon Age fan, I've got a Dragon Age poster on my wall. It reminds me so much of Dragon Age Origins. At its core, a lot of people are calling this indie Skyrim. This feels to me like a 2025 indie Dragon Age Origins. Okay, and then on top of the story, there are hundreds of side quests. Now, I will say these are more, they're more like task-based rather than story-heavy. So this isn't like Kingdom Come Deliverance, where you're in like very long dialogue scenes and, you know, they're very, very deep. A lot of them are more surface level, like go collect this thing, go defeat these things, that kind of thing. But lots of them have a branching story that go through the game. So maybe you meet someone in Act 1 and you help him with something. And so, for example, there's a hospital in Act 1, and they're trying to like help people. You can help this hospital, do a bunch of quests for them, and then you can go around and find merchants that are willing to help fund the hospital, and then you get it like to a really good place. And then later on in a later act, you can say, oh, I actually know a healer. I know a place that can help. So your actions have significant consequences throughout the game, both good and bad. You do something wrong, you are probably going to pay for it in a later zone. And then there are like faction style quests where there are these like factions in the world that you can learn about in like the first zone, and you can try and find them, or they can find you, and then you like join them and rank up, and they have, you know, they have a agenda of what they want to do with the world and the things they want to achieve, and you can help them achieve that, or you can say you're going to help them and then turn on them, that kind of thing. I won't ruin what they are, but one is like kind of crafting heavy, one is very, very dark, and then the other is around like the beasts and manipulating like creatures and monsters. So it's very interesting, and it's something we haven't really seen in these kind of games. I thought it was all very refreshing to see it, not just, you know, a mage's guild, a warrior guild. It's very different. But I'd love to go into details, but I'm not going to ruin the surprises there. So yeah, the story as a whole and the side quest, the progression, going through the game, I think is its strongest part. If you like story games, you like that kind of thing, I think this is amazing. It's very hard to critique it because I genuinely enjoyed every minute of it. Now onto something that I am going to be a bit heavier on, something that definitely has good and bad parts, and that's the combat and the builds. So as you play through the game, you get stat points and you get skill points. Stat points can go into like, you know, strength, magic, dexterity, that kind of thing. And you can build out pretty much however you want. And similarly in the skill tree, there is a massive branching skill tree for pretty much every type of playstyle, you know, summoning, one-handers, bows, stealth, that kind of thing. So there's a lot you can do. And the gear that drops also matches this hybrid playstyle. There'll be gear that drops that is just all strength, 200 weapons, all dex, bows, and stealth weapons, things like that. And then there is like hybrid gear. So there'll be like bows that need magic. So you can be like an arcane archer, like a magic archer. There'll be like armor that is, half strength and then half magic. So you've got this good balance of pretty much whatever you play as, you're fine. You're not going to get restricted because of a certain playstyle. I played it as a two-handed, just heavy armor Chad, which was my main playstyle. And then about halfway through, there's like respec potions that you can find. There's loads. And I respec into 2 one-handers. So I went like, barbarian, gladiator kind of build of 2 swords, and then like more medium armor. And the combat itself is pretty good. Magic feels good. Archery feels amazing. But melee, I had a few problems with it. So basically, we have a health bar, we have a stamina bar, and when we run out of stamina, we can't do anything. When the enemies have a health bar and a stamina bar, when the enemies run out of stamina, they generally get staggered and we can just like unload all our attacks on them. So most of the combat feels good. If you're running in, you just smash an enemy, stagger them, defeat them, it feels good. But as we get onto like the more tougher enemies, we have to parry. If you're not playing with a shield or you're not playing like magic or ranged, you're relying on the parry system. So if you're fighting like a boss and you parry a boss, I've gone from full stamina to 0 from 1 parry. And then you're out of, you can't do anything. So I pretty much avoided the parry system completely. So I was playing like a 2-handed build with like heavy armor, and I was dashing in, doing a big attack, dashing out. So yeah, parry system is probably the only thing around the combat that I personally didn't like. Everything else was fantastic. I'm going to do a second playthrough as magic because some of the spells I got, I was like, I really want to use that. And then I look at my like tiny mana bar and my 0 points in magic, and I just felt bad. I'm going to do another playthrough, probably like heavily on like summons and magic because it does look fun. But I can't really say if it's great. I used it in Act 1 for a little bit, and before all the magic got away from me and it was too strong for me. But yeah, magic looks cool. One thing that's going to make you want to play all the other builds is almost every single enemy you defeat, you get their armor set. A mage that is fire, they would have like fire gear, and then they would have like a weapon around fire, and then maybe you would also get their spell that is like raise fire monster. So that's very, very cool. It's similar with like with melee. Say you fight someone who's got like 2 ice swords, you get the ice swords, and then you can like specialize into like ice and magic if you want to like kind of like become them, which I thought is very, very interesting because there's a lot of notable characters here, and they did a good job with that. So yeah, that's another cool thing that's going to make you have build envy a lot as you're playing. Okay, now on to crafting. So crafting, I've got very mixed feelings about, and I'm going to be very honest about this. So there are 3 types of crafting. There is like weapon and armor crafting, which is like one thing. Then there is cooking and alchemy. Cooking is fantastic. Cooking is really, really, really good. You basically, as you roam around the world, you are just a loot goblin. Every single house you go into, carrot, bread, cheese, you just loot all of the butter. You just loot everything. There's fishing, so you can like catch fish, or you can like go around the docks and pick up like crabs or whatever's like lying around the beach, or like look in the sacks and take fish. So there's lots of like stuff that works into cooking, and then lots of the side quests in the game, you actually learn new cooking recipes. So you'll go around and you'll meet different people, and they'll be like, oh, I've got an idea for this, or oh, this thing cures this, and you'll learn new cooking recipes. And cooking works as a, for the most part, it works as a heal over time. So the better the recipe, the bigger the heal over time. As your health goes up, that works better. Instead of healing over 60 seconds, maybe it'll heal over 10 seconds. So cooking feels rewarding, and the loop of like always looting, always cooking at the campfire is pretty good. I never felt like I ran out, but I never felt like I had too much. So they did a spot on job there. Very, very good. And you can specialize with your skill points into these things as well, right? Into crafting if you want to. Then with alchemy, similarly, I thought it was pretty good. The potion is like an instant use in combat. You can just chug potions like in Skyrim and like those other games, and you can be pretty safe. But there aren't just like an abundant amount of potions to the point where you always have 10 on your hotbar to just chug through. The resources are pretty scarce, and you're always looking for more. Like I say, you're always looking for like sage or the right material to make the good potions. Again, as you go through and you meet certain alchemists, you can learn better potions. Those 2 systems together, I think they did very, very, very well. The balance of, not having too much and not running out, I found it perfect. Then the crafting is probably the thing I felt was the weakest. So the crafting has like 3 elements to it. There's crafting items, there is strengthening your gear, and then there is like attaching relics to your weapons, which you know is good. Anything around upgrading items I thought was good. You know, you can upgrade your weapons to like +1, +2, +3. Amazing. You go around and you mine, and you start by mining like iron and copper, and then you mine like meteorite and different things like that, and then you can, you know, enhance these really powerful and rare weapons. Amazing. Putting relics on your weapons, like you get a quest reward and it's like a really rare relic. You can then embed that in one of your weapons. Amazing. The one place I feel like it fell over was the crafting itself. The crafting itself started really good in like zone 1, act or whatever it is, zone 1. You're given tons of crafts, and you're given like this big list of crafts, and there's a blacksmith there, and he gives you loads of crafting recipes, and there's like quest chain for him. And you learn quite a lot of good crafts, and you get some good armor very early on. And I played through nearly 48 hours, nearly 50 hours. I tried to do every single side quest I found, and I barely found any crafting recipes. I was still using armor from like zone 2 at the end of the game. So yeah, I don't know if I just like missed something, but it definitely felt like crafting just ran away from me. Okay, so overall, should you play Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon? Yes, I would say yes. I would say if you like the gameplay loop of like, you know, Oblivion, Skyrim, that kind of like open world, The Witcher 3, the open world of like traveling across the world, picking up main quests and side quests, juggling them all, it feels amazing. There's a lot of like quality of life. You can like quick store to your stash in any town and then quick access the stash for like crafting, or you can go to a vendor and sell from your stash. When you open the world map, you can like actively travel between all the zones freely. There's like fast travel points, which is amazing. There's if you have like a main quest and like 20 side quests, all 20 side quests are visible on the map at the same time, and you just right click them and track them. Amazing. Some games still releasing today only let you track like 2 quests at a time. So yeah, this is amazing in that regard. Overall, as a open world story RPG, I've got to say it's incredible. It's incredible. The story is, I won't spoil it, but the story was amazing. I loved it. Had me from start to finish. The side quests are hit and miss. Some were amazing, and I finished them, and I was like, damn. Damn, that was a good story. Others I finished, and I was like, oh, is that it? Oh. So yeah, you know, some relate to people more than others, which is normal. The story itself, the zones themselves, there's like a prologue and then 3 big zones. Prologue, amazing. First 2 zones, incredible. The last zone was a little less my cup of tea because there were more like elevations. There was like a lot of high and low, and you'd look down at a quest and be like, oh, how do I get down there? I wasn't a fan of that, but yeah, everything else was good. So yeah, overall, if you're looking for this sort of game, amazing. Another sort of thing this game would be for is for people who like dark fantasy. If you've played like Dragon Age Origins, think back to there and some of the decisions you make where there's like these dark forces come in and you have to make like decisions where it's like, oh, we could sacrifice this to protect this, or we could do this dark thing to create a barrier. Those kind of decisions are throughout the game, start to finish, in the main quest, in the side quests, and they do it so well. So many times you get like you get the choice, and it's like, oh, I've got 3 options, and you just sit there and go, oh man, I don't want to do any of these because they're all so like morally grey. So yeah, they handle it amazing, and if you're looking for that kind of game, it does it really well. The only potential, like, I don't know, flaws the game has is the melee combat could be better. The melee combat could definitely be better. Magic, ranged, and dashing in and out, like the more dexterous playstyle, amazing. The actual like standing and, you know, parrying, one-to-one combat could definitely be a little bit better. The crafting, like I've said, I personally ran out of crafts very early on, so it could be on me. But the crafting, not sure. The builds, the skill points is amazing. There's like secret quests you can do that unlock new skill trees, which is So cool. And as you play through, you can do side quests that give you like skill points, stuff like that. Really, really good. Overall, it's an amazing game when you especially when you think that this was made by an indie company. You know, this wasn't made by Bethesda. This was made by like a small indie company. So yeah, really, really good. I definitely showed this company some love. I would definitely recommend this. I will also say, I'm not just gonna chill out. I've tried to be as honest here and give you like a very honest look at the game. If you are still on the fence, there's a free demo. At least right now, there's a free demo. So you can play the prologue for free. Go try it. Go try the combat. Go try the gameplay. Go look at the setting. See what it's like. And make your own decision. Not telling you to go and insta buy it. Go look at it. Go try it. At least give it a try. Because I think they've done something special here. But yeah, that's it. If you like the style of the video, I do make lots of reviews and builds and guides. So do consider subscribing for more. But that's it from me. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.